Hey everyone, Mary Koska here with Ohana OT, and I just thought I'd show you a system that I developed, a form I developed to help me organize all the information prior to an eval and during the eval. That helps me be really organized to write up my report really fast on jot forms. So it's the step before I showed you guys what the jot form looks like, and I'm just going to show you how I organize myself. Okay, so first it just has the basic information. Since my jot form report is very fast to type up, I like just having a record of all of this stuff that's a little bit more in depth. So then I have a way of going back and seeing what all I actually did, or if anybody ever wants more in-depth information, I have it. Because if you saw my report, my jot form, it's pretty fast. It's more of a summary, I guess. So I have the demographics. I like to have it documented that who contacted us with concerns and when the prescription is dated, and if it was to evaluate and treat, all of that. And I just have a check-off sheet for common diagnoses that they have, or if it's a different one. And then I have a whole list of these treatment diagnoses, what I might be treating. And it's really common that I would do the weakness, the coordination, and the unspecified disorder of the nervous system, which is in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. That one is pretty common one that I'll use. And then you can see there's this block here, and this is really what I end up using to write all my goals. So as I'm reading, we have a pretty thorough intake information that the parents fill out, and then there might be things that they mention while I'm talking with them during the eval. And then there's also information I'm drawing on from the sensory processing measure, or if they did the PDI or the REAL for the real for the ADL. So up here I've got anything related to safety. I always like in my report to have something about safety. It helps justify medical necessity. So I just have all these different areas that relate to safety. Like really common would be heedless to danger, physical aggression, temper tantrums, outbursts, that kind of thing. We don't focus on academics, but I like to just kind of note if there's academic concerns. And then fine motor, if the issues around handwriting, if it's strength, coordination, speed, pressure modulation, grasp, or in-hand manipulation problems. Self-care, I just have the general categories here, but I'll usually note what the problem is, like if they need a certain amount of assist, or if they need reminders, or whatever the issue is. And most common what gets written in here is feeding, like being really picky, and then grooming is a real common one, that they're oversensitivity to hair, nails, and teeth care. Gross motor, I have these common things: falling out of the chair, falls with running, can't sit still, overly active, endurance, or they're sedentary, seeker, that kind of stuff. Cognitive, it's usually attention, task completion, coping with transitions is real common. Following multi-step directions is really common problem. Sensory, in here I'm usually kind of summarizing what I'm getting off the SPM, so I might just put like that they're oversensitive to, what's common would be oversensitive to auditory, tactile, and visual, and sometimes smell, and sometimes taste, and just anything else. And then the social and play, I just check off anything that the parents noted, and I like to note like how they're doing in the community, if they have problems tolerating those environments. So when I'm all done dumping stuff in here, and it's really fast because I'm just doing check marks mostly. Like I said, when I go to write my goals, I'm taking them right off of here. Okay, the other page is what I'm looking at when I'm doing the eval. So I will note any kind of red flags, things that might limit their progress, or just anything I'm going to want to significantly note in the report. So if they're in foster care, multiple placement, or they're on medications, or just any kind of medical stuff, I'll note that there. There's kind of some things. If they have other diagnoses. And then I really try to hone in on what is their highest priority for a goal. You know, what's something that they can't do that they really want to be able to do. And then I just empathize with them and, you know, let them know what I think we can fix, what I think we can help with. So I just note that, and then these are going to be my highest priority goals. So I have the primary functional impairment, the highest priority couple goals, and then I have all the other ones that come off that sheet. And then here, we do a parent concern level at the beginning and at discharge. And so, you know, a lot of times they'll have an 8, 9, 10, or 10 out of 10 concern level at the beginning, and usually it's like a 2 or 3 by the end of discharge. Pre-test treatment and post, when I do an eval, I do some kind of pre and post test, so it might be like how long can they sit for, and then a test treatment, so it might be like Wilbarger deep pressure protocol, or it might be some other prop activity, or it might be a vestibular activity, and then I note, you know, how it impacted them, and that gives me an idea if what we're going to do is going to be beneficial to them. Then this section is where I do all my AIRS clinical observations, and I'm going to just check off if they're within normal limits, not tested, or if there's impairment. And then for each of these I have like what it's looking at. And then I also have like the norms, like a 4-year-old can do 10 seconds. And then some key reflexes that I like to test. And then if I did do some kind of, oh, there is a typo there. I gotta fix that. If I did some kind of standardized assessment, I would note it. I would just check it, and then I would just note the main scores. And then I just sign it. And then that way I have a pretty thorough thing that I can go back and look at if anybody ever wants more in-depth information. I'm going to flip this around. And that made me feel better about having such a short report, because I really just keep it really simple and put the main things in it that it needs. But if I ever needed to go back and see more in-depth information, more my data and all that kind of stuff, I have this to go back on. And that's how I do it, because I just needed one place to kind of like funnel all the stuff I'm getting from my eval, from the parent during it, and all the stuff beforehand, and then all the stuff from the sensory processing measure. So I just needed a collective place that I could very efficiently organize the information and then be able to pull my goals out of it and my treatment plan. So that's how I do it, and it's pretty fast. Oh, and the other thing is, if anybody's wanting a copy of this, I think because it did take a lot of years developing and refining and changing it over and over, I can make it into a product if anybody wants it, and it would be like $29 or something like that. So if you want me to do that, I would be happy to do that. Or you can get probably quite a bit off the video and make your own something similar. Okay, have a good day. Bye.